Bob McLeod, and you're watching Omni X-Men.
Whoa, what was that? Bob McLeod? Well, hold on a second. This is Omni X-Men, ladies and gentlemen. We got a new intro in the house. We got a lot of surprises tonight, that being one of them. Welcome to Omni X-Men. I'm Justin, aka No Good Comics, and I still almost have my voice back, still drinking a little bit of tea. So bear with me this evening, but I'm happy to finally have the show back on my channel because it feels like a year. It's been probably a month. It's probably an accurate statement. If you guys have been following along, you know that the last few shows have been on my co-host channel because my voice just died out of nowhere, and it's still coming back. So, anyways, appreciate everybody who's been supporting the shows, supporting the channel, and I'm excited for tonight because, like I said, we have a few surprises. That intro being one of them, and of course, let me bring on my co-host and good friend John for John's Comics with Kids. John.
That was dope. I was
Got
like,
you,
what?
dude.
That was totally got me. But I'm more excited. Hey, tonight
Whoa.
we got Storm. We got
Whoa.
Storm tonight. Storm is on the show tonight, man.
Dude, your statues, man. You got some awesome statues, dude. You killed it.
mostly just one character, but it's still exciting.
That's all the character that matters, my friend.
Bob McLeod, though, that was cool. That was freaking cool, man.
Right, and the piece he's holding is the artwork that I had him commissioned. That was at King Con earlier this year.
Danny, yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, so I was like, I forgot about it, and then I uploaded it, and then like a month ago I had it ready, but then I didn't because I couldn't upload it to StreamYard. Remember, I don't know if you remember. I was
you had to convert it
and then I'm like,
it's got to be in a different format.
I'll do it later.
Yeah,
and then I'm like, well, I'm not gonna do it on John's channel because I gotta surprise John, so I can't. Then
gotta be But now we've got 3. We're gonna keep expanding these.
Yes. So anyways, like I was saying, we have another exciting surprise for everybody here tonight. So if you're just tuning in, be ready. We are going to be talking about New Mutants 33 for tonight. And again, this is all part of our Omni that we've been breaking down over the last half a year practically at this point. There it is. Yeah. So season 5 is coming to an end, John.
It's crazy.
Right? It's flying by. And we got one more episode on your channel next week, next Tuesday, 9:00 Eastern, followed by the giveaway show, the big grand finale giveaway show, which will be back here on this channel. So make sure you guys are following and subbed up to John. His links are in the description below because we will be back on his channel next week, and we'll be with our good friend Sove Collector. And then yes, we'll be back here again for a big giveaway, and we'll be talking about the giveaway stuff here in just a moment. But before we go any further, let's bring on our special guest tonight. Really excited to bring this fellow friend, comic collector that I've met and hung out with several times at this point, and I have had him on the channel before. But this is his first Omni X-Men appearance, and if my scroller works, here we go. Bringing my good friend Noah, aka Broke Boy Comics. Noah, what's up, brother?
What's going on? Happy to be here. Super excited.
Dude, man, I'm so pumped. I'm glad. Listen, and just to set the record, for anybody who doesn't know Noah, Noah, very, very big DC guy. Very big DC, as John is as well. Big DC guy.
Here. Come on.
Very knowledgeable. and I said, no, and just connecting with you, dude, like hanging out at TurfCon and everything else. I'm like, we got to get you on the show just because of your love for comics. And sure enough, obviously we have you here. And as you just told us backstage, you're all caught up. So I'm even more pumped. No, you're right here.
All the homework.
Yes, I did all the homework. I might not have been in the chat every episode, but I am all caught up.
We appreciate you.
Amazing. Love the dedication.
Yes. So for anybody who doesn't follow Noah, make sure you do so. I put his links in the description below. Noah's been doing an amazing job showing off a ton of great stuff over on his YouTube channel, as well as posting over on Instagram. So both of those links are down below as well. It's going to be a few of those tonight. I'll try to mute when I can, guys. All right, so before we go any further, because normally we go on here with the chat, before we say hello to you all, chat, we have one other special announcement, special guest that we have that's hanging out backstage, and we hinted a little bit over the last few episodes. Wasn't sure, when we were going to do this, but we have our featured artist with us here tonight, hanging out at the beginning of this episode. We have our good friend Geek Out with Rosko. Rosko, what's up,
What's
brother?
up? Appreciate you guys. How y'all doing?
Doing great, man. Doing great. I'm so happy.
Better
to have
now,
you,
man. Better now that you're here, for sure.
Big time.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for even thinking of me to be the artist for you guys this season. So, thank you both so much. Appreciate it. Noah, nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you as well.
Absolutely.
And, I'm no stranger to these two guys, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. Dude, I am so excited that you've been. Honestly, I don't know why we didn't think sooner. I'm like, man, this is like a perfect fit. Always have been a fan of your work. You've always been a great community member to the comic book community as a whole. And I had the pleasure. I always bring this up. I had the pleasure of teaming up with you back on Rod the Reekin's Lamer Frame drawing show back.
Let's be fair. Rosko had the privilege of having to carry you on his back across the finish line to win the competition.
Listen, I don't know who carried who or what. I know there was a lot of talent in the room that night. That's all I can really recall. But yes, Rosko and I are equally very good at things, you know.
It was awesome.
I don't remember.
It was great. I know.
John tried to block it out. That's why he doesn't remember. That was like my first time hanging out with you, Rosko. Was at that. This is back in, for those who haven't seen Lamer Frame, like 2020, I guess. Been right around the pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
That was before I even had a channel.
Yeah, right. You were just hanging out. That's right.
Yeah. Someone's like, "Hey, you should draw on this show."
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
So fun. And for background, Noah, and for anyone else who does, if you haven't seen it, our good friend Rod the Reekin, who's hanging out in our chats and everything. He used to have a show where he would invite team or friends to come on and basically give us all topics, and you had to just sketch or draw them, and the chat would vote on who was the best for a random thing.
And a timer. Like they would time you too.
Yeah. So
that's
2 minutes.
I would do so bad. I would be horrible.
I mean, that's most of us were really bad. Rosko was amazing. So he always. So, but then we did like a team one, and Rosko and I were teamed up, and I was like, this is great. Like, and I tried.
Rod had like a belt. He would write your name on it if you won.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
My name is on that belt too, Justin. Just so you know, and I didn't have to team up with a professional to accomplish that. I didn't bring in.
You cheated else. Different way. You cheated.
I may have. there may have been sexual favors involved, but it was not.
See, there.
It was not.
I knew.
What?
But I'll tell you, like Rosko donates so much artwork to great causes. There's so many times when I'm like, in a charity auction for comics and stuff, and they're like, "Hey, we got Rosko. He donated this piece," and it's like, because I mean, that's how I got Eddie Munson over here from Stranger Things back in one of the early C3 auctions, and so when I reached out and I was like, "Hey, can we maybe purchase something from you for the community?" He was like, "Yeah, let's do it." He's like, "I've got a wraparound cover I can do for you." It was like he was just all in from the beginning, and in my opinion, I know we waited, but like, the New Mutants Demon Bear and Rosko is a little peanut butter and jelly for me. Like, this is like coming together in a beautiful way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well said, man.
It was a fun piece. It was a lot. It was I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be cool," and then I was like.
we kept saying, "Rosko, don't worry, you got all season, man. You got all season." It's like 8 months.
Well, and the guy's he's moving. He's like dealing with a ton of things in this time period.
Yeah, I had a hurricane. Got hit with a hurricane and a tornado. Lost my house. Had to move. Been sick. But hey, I'm back, baby, and that's why I brought it here. And
love it.
Yes.
So yeah, we do have the piece that we're going to be introducing tonight, showing off here tonight. So for the chat, everybody who's hanging, thank you for sticking around, because this is what we wanted to show off tonight. Our good friend Rosko and his artwork for what we're going to be giving away. So again, as a reminder, folks, we do a giveaway at the end of the season, which happens to be in 2 weeks. It's going to be back here on this channel, and you're going to be able to potentially win the artwork that we are about to show you that was done by this gentleman, Rosko, right here. So, Rosko, talk us through the artwork and tell me what you want me to show first here, because I know we have a couple little images here we're going to show for you.
Okay. I have a couple references that I used. One was actual like an homage to, like, it's an homage cover. So that had a little bit of, right. Yep. There we go. So I had a little bit of that, but again, there's so many different interpretations and stuff, and it's just wild. But then I was like, I saw like covers, but then I was like, man, let me go inside the book.
Yep.
And so there's a major, okay, so there's a part there where I was like, okay, they're all together. Saw that. And then if you go to the next one, there we go. Then they're all like, then, the middle scene is the birth, but I focused on part of the bear.
Yeah.
But I know some people are going to be upset with me, and I do apologize. But the thing is that it's, again, it was to do it within what happened inside the book. So some people may be upset that a person is not going to be on this cover, and I do apologize. But
I need to apologize, brother.
To be honest with you, Demon Bear is still technically part of her.
Right.
I don't know. So, don't get mad at me. But I mean, this is like when it gets transported to the Badlands, right?
Yep.
That's correct.
Yep.
Right? Yep. So, and of course, she was injured, and so this is based kind of like in that scenario.
Sure.
All right.
I love how dedicated you were to the realism of that comic. That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome that you pulled it straight out of the story. So that's cool.
All right.
Yeah.
So those are the references. Let's take a look at. Do we have it? Are we ready?
Here's the drum roll. Ready? Drum roll. Everybody in the chat, see some drumming and clapping going on, and boom!
Oh, heck
Wow.
Yes.
There it is.
That is sick.
Oh my gosh, the bloody X.
Look at the trade dress. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Look at the soul sword. Oh my
Hell yeah.
gosh.
And the colors, the blues, the pinks,
Magma.
the oranges.
Look at Magma.
I know. I was just about to talk about Magma. That
Oh.
she's awesome looking.
my
Dude.
guy. Dude, my
Wow.
guy. Yeah, the coloring, this would have taken forever.
Yeah, there's so much,
Mm,
and it's
just a
so
little bit.
accurate to what we've been reading, like what we've been seeing. The Sienkiewicz and what the styles
my
are
God.
color wise. You're captured all this, Rosko. It's
Oh my
freaking
gosh,
amazing.
So good.
Yeah,
Let me highlight the chat here. So showing some love here. I know we didn't get to say hi to the chat yet, but appreciate everybody. Everyone's like, come on.
That's so good, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
Rosko.
I showed some Sienkiewicz love with the sun and the moon.
yes,
claws.
inside of him. Yeah.
Yep. But the reference is like the head is basically like an actual bear head is what I went off of too. But
Yep.
But yeah, I went with the like the bloody X. But I also
love that part.
Yeah.
the new mutants underneath. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know if you can zoom in, but
Oh, I can totally see it though.
I can't from here, but
yeah, it kind of made it look like it's like dripping paint as well. So,
Yeah, I love it.
amazing,
Oh,
dude.
God.
Brilliant.
So yeah. So but yeah, again, there's no Danny.
That's all
No,
right, man.
that's
She's
the,
very
she's
much-
the,
this is
she's the one
accurate.
that brought them here, so that all
Yeah.
works.
This is very accurate, dude. I blown away,
love
man.
it.
So a reminder, everybody, this is something you can win literally in 2 weeks from today. It'll be back on this channel. You need to get your name on the board, and the only way you can do that is by answering questions correctly in our trivia portion of the show, which happens to be tonight at the end of the show. We do that right after we break down issue 33 of New Mutants, and we'll have one more shot at it next week on John's channel.
And we
So,
usually do a few fun trivias on the giveaway night just to throw a few more
yes,
tickets out to people. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're down to the last 3 opportunities to get on the big wheel.
Yeah. So it's getting tight, but hey, if you can get your name on there at least once, we've seen winners win with just one name. Calling out Matt.
The
Boy Who
boy
Had
at
Seven.
7 won a slab for, and he only had one
Yeah.
ticket on the whole
That's all-
wheel.
That's all you need.
Wow.
So, Rosko, brother, thank you so much, man. It's amazing. We love it.
Appreciate you guys.
Right now I'm trying to scheme and figure out how I can get in on the wheel so that I could try to win. That's what I'm
Here's
trying to
the
figure out.
better way to go, gang. Reach out to Rosko. He's got a ton of sketch variants, blank covers. If you want to get get something from the guy. His rates are incredibly reasonable, and you see what you get for it. So definitely reach out. I know a ton of members in the community, like myself, have Rosko artwork hanging on their walls or in their short boxes. So hit him up. The link is in all the videos we've done this season, so you can easily find Rosko across the Instagrams, and then hit him up and see what you can get happening.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much again for even considering me or even thinking of me to, be able to do this for you. And like I said, it was fun. It was a lot of coloring, but it was, again, a lot of fun.
Paid off.
Definitely paid off.
But I hope, like I said, I hope y'all like it, and
We
I hope the
definitely
winner
do, man.
likes it too. So, and
Oh,
hopefully,
definitely.
maybe after seeing this, maybe more people will,
Yeah.
try to get into it. Who knows?
Heck
But
yeah.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome, brother.
Thanks, Rosko. I appreciate you, buddy.
absolutely
Thanks, Rosko.
appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Oh man, that was killer. Oh
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. That's awesome.
All right. We got to say hi to the chat here. See, everybody's been hanging out. So let me scroll back up here. And let's see here. And again, yes, reminder, links are in the description. Rosko, such a great dude, man. Amazing to have him on here and have him be the featured art. Blown away by that artwork.
That's awesome.
We have a lot of comments to go. I'm gonna skim through and make sure to catch everybody here. But let's kick it off. We got Press Comics in the house. My man Matt and Clemson. Shout out to him. His new pressing services. Check him out. I got to give him a shout out. His new business he's kicked off has been phenomenal. I got books with him right now. If you guys are into pressing or looking to clean up your books, go to Matt at Press Comics. We appreciate you, brother. Let's see. We got this guy in the chat. We got this guy in the chat. We already know these guys. Let's see. We got Ryan Magic Lasso hanging out with us. Good to see you, my friend, with the long list. He goes, hello to Justin. Lost his voice. Must have found it. John CW and K. Noah. Rachel Dinners. Diana Ross. Allison Blair. The White Queen. Emma Frost. Celine and Chatters and Friends. Love it, Ryan. That was a great intro. We got Adam Makes Stuff Up as well, talking about found his voice behind the couch. See, you always check behind the couch. I always forget to do that. But now I lost his internet. Did I lose my internet? Did I lose it? Or was it because we were late? Maybe we were late.
no, I think we're good.
Let's see. Scrolling through, people saying hi to people. We got my man Stevie Conlin Comics in the house. What is up, Stevie? Let's see. We got our good friend Candace Barbosa. She was just our special guest last week. Appreciate you, Candace. Let's see. Scrolling through here, we got the Jackson Roy Kirk in the chat. What's going on, folks? Let's see. Scrolling. We got Derek Neiman in the chat. What is going on, Derek? Been seeing you in a ton of people's chats and just a great community member. So appreciate you, Derek, for hanging out with us. We got Cindy Roscoe's Cindy, I should say. Hello, Cindy. Hello to you. Thank you for hanging out and watching. We got JP Budget Collect, the guy who tried to replace me, but that'll never,
Didn't work out. One and done.
He goes, hey, wait, I didn't get the link to co-host. Yeah, sorry, man. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see. We got Kenneth Bird in the chat. What is going on, my man, Kenneth? Let's see, scrolling through, we're seeing everybody. This is where Roy Kirk, thank you for dropping that line when we were getting ready to show off the goods. I loved this comment, by the way, Adam. Cannonball with a shirt.
He's not just shirtless the whole time.
Yeah. So anyways, I think I had everybody. Appreciate everybody who's in the chat right now. We took a little extra time here, like I said, because we wanted to highlight Rosko. But look, we have it's New Mutants 33. Before we get into it, let's talk about our special guest here, Noah. As we've already introduced you, John's got a couple questions that he's gonna have you run through the mill here. So John,
for sure.
What do you got?
Yeah, I know, Noah. You're a DC guy. I went X-Men, and then through X-Men I found Teen Titans. I want to geek on Teen Titans a little. I don't know if you're a Titans fan. Like I'm
a Titans fan.
That's my DC team. Like I'm a big Titans fan. So okay, like obviously Dick Grayson, is my favorite. He's the best one for me. But there's some great ladies on that team. Do you have a favorite female Titan?
Oh, that's a good question. It might have to be Raven. I think it would be Raven.
Pick.
I'm very much more into like the mystical side of both Marvel and DC, so I think that she pulls it for me.
Yeah, and she's got that great like backstory where you're just kind of not sure like whether she's gonna flip on you, turn on you at any given point, and especially those early issues. There's so much like so many questions around her.
Yeah, and her dad too is insane. Yeah,
not to mess with. Don't mess with.
No, very powerful.
How do you think they would fare at the beginning, the early New Teen Titans versus the early New Mutants? You know, how badly are these New Mutants going to get wrecked?
I feel like they'd get wrecked pretty bad. From the very beginning of how the New Mutants were looking, yeah, I think they definitely would have gotten their butts kicked for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's flip it. Claremont's New X-Men versus Teen Titans. Where are you coming down on that duo? Because I feel like that's a little more even in some ways.
It is. I might have to give it to the X-Men only because they all have powers, technically, I guess. I mean, of course, Dick Grayson Robin is, one of the greatest. However, the Chris Claremont X-Men, they're all pretty powerful. So
absolutely 100%. All right, then if you were gonna go Justice League, like who from the Teen Titans would you choose to elevate to Justice League status? If you were gonna like kick somebody out of the Justice League, like the classic team, and throw a Teen Titan in, who are you swapping out?
Nightwing.
Oh,
like swap out.
Yeah, like Nightwing would go in, and then who comes off of the team from the big guys?
Like, are we talking main 7? Like from the animated series?
Correct.
I would replace him with Hawkgirl.
Nice.
Yeah. And especially like Nightwing, I feel like he's such a moral compass. I think he would definitely keep the Justice League aligned along with Superman. So
yeah, they're so great to even obviously they did some great stuff with Nightwing and John Kent not too long ago in Taylor's run that I thought was really great. You could see the sensibilities and how Clark has impacted Dick Grayson and how Dick Grayson's now impacting John. It's a wonderful like kismet sort of karma.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, we're already 23 minutes in. I'm not going to go too much longer, but gang, hit the links down below for Noah. Subscribe over there and jump in on that stuff. And at some point, I'm going to do a Teen Titans series, and I'm going to bring Noah around at some point. You guys got to.
There you go.
That. Oh, I'm 100% down for that. Are we talking George Perez?
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Nice job. And yes, for anyone who's not following Noah, make sure you do so. Again, his stuff is in the description below, his links. Make sure you check him out. Check out his channel. Noah, we're excited to have you tonight. So let's break down some New Mutants here. New Mutant 33. I want to say a quick hello to Styles So Serious hanging out with us. What's going on, Styles? Did I miss anybody else? I think everybody else was saying hello. He said he didn't say the W. He said
he didn't remove Wonder Woman. So Lasso's not going to free.
Powerful.
I
can't remember Batman. So
yeah, fair.
All right, gang. Well, let's get into this here. We have New Mutants 33. We got this bright reddish, pinkish, yellowish. I don't know what you want to call it. Cover. We got Warlock on the front, doing some damage from what it looks like. John, what are your thoughts here on this cover to kick things off?
I'm not loving it. In fact, it might be my least favorite of the 3 Steve Lealoa covers we're getting here in this arc. It's a little muddled. I don't quite understand what's going on. It doesn't really sucker me in very well. I love Warlock looks cool, but he always looks cool. I don't know that that's going to be like the selling point for me. I think some of the stuff is too far away in the background. And gang, what is Sim doing in there? Get that guy out of there. What is he? He's in the front. He gets front row status. He's blocking out Magic. You know that she's kind of like, dude, you're the background player. Like swap.
He's photobombing.
You're upstaging. Yes, yeah. It's bad. I agree, Candace. Why is your girl that tiny? Not acceptable. So for me, it just feels like a boring, like pseudo Danger Room cover that doesn't really have the hype for me. I don't mind the coloring. The coloring's kind of strong, but I just don't like the layout. It's not working for me.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm with you there. Quick, just want to highlight. Styles says, "Glad I found this channel. Just started reading New Mutants again this week." Styles, you are in the right place, my man. I don't know if you've read 33 yet or not, but this is where we're at for tonight. And stick around because we're gonna ask some fun trivia questions from last issue as well.
And I got a playlist going, so if you want to go back and cruise through some of your favorite issues and what we thought and what our panel did on those particular stories, we got you covered.
Yep, good call.
Yeah, John, your playlist saved me a lot. It was very easy to follow along.
Sweet.
Yeah,
you gotta. I know that there's times when you're like, I read this issue, like, I don't want to hear anything they have to say, and it's a 3-hour episode. Let's scroll. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one.
Shout out to John, by the way, because John, you did all that, so I appreciate you putting that whole thing together.
Heck yeah, man.
Makes it easy for everybody. No, I'm going to pass it to you. What were your thoughts, Loki? I mean, now that I know you're caught up, you've seen all the different covers as we've kind of gone through them over the season. What were your initial thoughts when you saw this cover?
Yeah, so I mean, I agree with a lot of stuff that John had already said. The colors I do think pop. It is a very busy cover, and again, like, Sim doesn't really need to be there at all. You definitely could have replaced him with either another team member or just not have him there. And you know, as later we'll see in the issue, the cover is deceiving. There is that as well. That always gets me. I kind of have a gripe against that with comic covers. So, but overall, like, the covers throughout the series, they have been really great. I will say I'm not actually a huge Sankiewicz fan, I've come to find when reading this, so it was cool to jump into a new artist. But yeah, I agree, this is definitely not one of the strongest covers from the series.
Fair, that's fair.
Yeah.
And for those, this is Steve Leialoha is the artist. We talked about him last time. Last issue technically was the big change, coming off of Bill Sienkiewicz's artwork. And yeah, as you said, Noah, I mean, they're very much split. We've noticed, through the community, through our guests. Some people love Bill, some people it just wasn't for them. I'm on the side. He's one of my favorite. Personally, I love his artwork. But I do totally understand, and especially for its time, it was just so different for what it was. But yeah, so we have some fresh artwork here that we've been coming off of. Geek Out with Rosko, brother. Again, brother, we appreciate you. Thanks again, man. Let's dive into this then. We'll jump right into the first bit here. So for those who haven't been following along, we are continuing from what seems to be a good 3 to 4 different
how did you get him? How did you in the same pose and outfit? Dude. I'm just
oh my god,
I'm dying.
I'm just good like that.
Gang, like upper corner. Just if it blends so well, you don't even see it.
Steve Leialoha,
that may be the greatest ad that Justin has ever done to any of our slideshows in 5 seasons of doing this. That is phenomenal. The pose, gang. The pose.
They look like twins.
It's phenomenal.
It's what came to mind. So good. So good. Thank you, chat. Thank you, John. No.
I'm not gonna stop now. I can't not see it.
Good old. Yeah, you're always gonna see Boomhauer.
All I see now.
So this issue is based off of the last 3 to 4 issues, I guess, really, where Karma's back, and it's she's taken over. She's evil. She's controlling the team. As a high level recap, it's all gone crazy. Right now, we're back in Cairo, Egypt, because she's Cairo, Egypt, right? Yeah, Egypt.
Yes, sir.
Because that's where that's where she has this nightclub called Pharaoh, and we're learning more about all this stuff. So now here at this point, you see her there, much larger than what we've always known her as, and she's controlling most of the team at this point.
But
it's
not her caloric intake.
Yeah, and so she
the
has
only thing she's not controlling.
Right,
is her caloric intake.
She has Cannonball there. She's got Rain there. Magma's there. So like Danny is the only one that's not there, and Magic, essentially Warlock are the ones that are not in this picture. But meanwhile, it just basically takes place with her at her party, at her nightclub. People are there enjoying themselves, and she's having a little fun because she has these mind control powers to be able to make the team pick on random people that are there. So you have this couple, Philip and I don't know even the girl's name, and she has Sam walk over and basically steal Philip's girl. And she takes over Philip's mind himself. So he kind of backs off for a second. The girl goes to Sam. I'm sorry, she takes the girl's thoughts and has her dance with Sam. The guy is all confused. I don't understand. And that kind of starts a little bit of a debacle. And Sam, again, not being himself, is basically like, hey, you got a problem? You want to start something? You want to do something? And so that's kind of where we're left in these first issues here, or these first panels. John, what were your thoughts just going into this, the artwork and the setup?
It's a really mixed bag, and I think it's kind of what we've gotten in Leia Loa's first issue. Now I've got it too. Damn it!
Don't you
Internet.
Don't you start.
I love this first splash page. The lighting is really strong. The artwork is really interesting. God bless it, Justin. But the some of the faces as we get into the other section are really cartoony and don't kind of work for me. The heads seem too big for the bodies, and some of the stuff is just a little bit off. So I wasn't in love with it. Obviously, it's hard to watch your heroes controlled by a villain, and that's very difficult. So that it kicks off with a gut punch in some ways, where we're left with our heroes as pawns, and so I thought that was a strong emotional place to start the story.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Noah, what about you? What were your thoughts as you started to dive into this these first few pages?
Yeah, I agree with the first splash page. I actually really enjoyed it with the lighting and everything. I think the colors with the purple and the yellow, they all look really cool. Yeah, but again, seeing our heroes being controlled like that, it's definitely not fun to watch. And also Karma just being the type of person to just have fun with people's lives and emotions, just like, hey, go mess with them, go like destroy their love life, and I'm gonna sit back and laugh at it. It's just very interesting, and I'm still curious on how she got to this point. And it's also interesting too that I know she's older than all of them, but not by that much. She's right. Gigantic.
Yeah.
And just seeing like the panel with her putting her hand on Sam's shoulder with Rain right there too. She looks like older, almost like she's not one of them, but she was. It's very interesting. So I'm still curious on how that happened.
Yeah, that's a great point. They definitely are, or she's supposed to be, a teenage girl, high school essentially is what, she kind of fell under the same, and it's only been, I don't know, maybe a year that's passed since all this.
Well, because we're on issue 33, and I can't remember what issue she vanished. It was I thought it was in the single digits.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
So it's been whatever.
Yeah,
24. It's almost two years, a little more than 2 years, maybe.
That's right. So, but yeah, so you're right though. She definitely has the drawing of, or the look of, someone much older at this point. So again, for anyone who hasn't been following along, we are also very much still questioning, how did she turn into this? Because this is not who she was. Candace says she skipped leg day many days. I mean, that not
chicken legs, no drumsticks. She got all the drumsticks.
Giving real Jabba the Hutt vibes here, Stevie. Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's almost Sienkiewicz style in the sense that it's so over dramatic. Like the size is so egregious. I don't want to I'm not trying to fat shame because there's a lot of good jokes to have here, but like the drawings are so exaggerated that I think that like it forces you to have those Jabba the Hutt kind of comparisons.
Big time, for sure. All right, well, let's keep it going here. So yeah, the basically as Sam is causing all this havoc, they have Storm comes stepping in out of nowhere, and at this point, we saw Storm last issue. As a reminder to folks, she doesn't have her powers. We're in the part now where she doesn't have her abilities. So her coming in to save the team essentially is pretty wild, knowing that, she's not the Storm that we are used to, as she doesn't have any of her abilities. So with that being said, she steps in, and as of course the Karma wakes the girl up finally, and she's questioning what happened, and then that's when Storm steps in to kind of break everything up. She sends the team at her to basically take her out, and you can see on that far side there, Cannonball Sam going flying, and that's where we see Magic step into play to kind of change everything up. So jumping kind of right into the action, really. But again, Karma really being this evil individual, the way she's talking, the way the cockiness that she has, she's like almost toying with everybody. I mean, because she could take Storm over, but instead she's like sending the team at her. John, what are your thoughts here with that? Again, just how she's acting in all this, and Storm, of course.
Nobody puts Storm in the corner, man. She comes in. All she's got is like a cloak and a bow staff. She looks like a Jedi or something. She's in here. She's just like pointing fingers, letting people know what's up. They send all the troops at her, try to mind control her, and she's like, nah. She's gonna beat them up with a stick. Like I love it. I was there for all of it. There's a couple of great little moves here. They do, obviously. Magic swings the soul sword through Cannonball, and it fractures the connection she has with him.
Yes.
So able to like disrupt her psychic abilities with some of their own. I thought that was kind of cool. And the way they kind of designed that really looks amazing. Plus, yeah, her confidence that like, look, I was trained by the greatest telepath there is. Like we are taught how to protect our minds from this. So your ability doesn't impact me personally. Now you can impact other people and I'll deal with them. But Storm is not afraid of a powerful telepath because she's had her privacy messed around by Xavier just enough to know how to control it.
Very true. Very true. Noah, what about you? What were your thoughts here? Seeing Storm, I know we've seen her, in the last issue and knew that she was around. And did you know at this time, or were you aware she didn't have her powers going into this? I don't know where you've read to as far as X-Men stuff goes, but.
So yeah, I was aware that at some point in time she did lose her powers and then regain them at another point in time, but I didn't realize that as we're reading this was that time. Gotcha. But just even throughout this issue, she continues to show how skilled she is even without her powers, which I think is awesome. And I will say in the last issue when she did come in, I was super excited to get some Storm in the New Mutants title. It was awesome.
Heck yeah, man.
And as far as Magic goes, she easily became one of my favorite characters in this series. Yeah. Like, again, I talked already about me, liking the whole mystical and magic side of things. Mm-hmm. And wow, I can't speak. Soul sword is super cool. I don't know a ton about her backstory. I know I got bits and pieces of it throughout the series, but she's super interesting, and I think she's really awesome. And I mean, we'll get more to her at the end of the issue. Yeah.
But, I highly recommend because it's in this omnibus, but it was also in the previous one we did last season. There's the Storm and Ileana Magic miniseries that Marvel did that basically is her coming of age story.
Gotcha.
And they reference it a little bit in Limbo in this storyline when we go in and out of Limbo, kind of what her role is there.
Yep.
But it's a great one. It's a lot of fun, and I think it's like 4 issues, but it's both those ladies together. It's like, again, you got your peanut butter and jelly coming together.
Oh, I'll definitely check that out for sure.
That's right. Quick hello in the chat to our guy Bobby Delegato Station. Bobby, good to see you, brother. So all right, let's keep this going here. We jump right into Rain jumps involved. Rain comes over. Danny doesn't quite know how to approach it. She's trying to talk to her through their connection that they've had, their psi connection since this whole season, really. And it turns out that it's really not, or that she's still, under control of Karma. But when they do connect, she is able to kind of gain her own control back a little bit from Karma. So you can see here that it's just enough where Rain wakes up and is able to kind of shake the control that Karma has at that moment. And at that time, Danny realizes, here's my window, here's my opportunity where I can use my abilities on Karma and try to buy us a little time. So she uses her abilities to try to scare her, show her fears, and which in this case happens to be Professor X. So Professor X, his big head, screaming, yelling, which scares a lot of us. And he's floating above Karma, which at first she is rattled by this, but it's pretty quick, her recovery and all this. And then you can see the girls kind of run off to the side, but Karma quickly takes over the entire group, basically, of people that are in this nightclub, Pharaoh, and sure enough, like tries to block off the area so they can't go anywhere. And then luckily out of nowhere, Warlock turns into this magic carpet ride that we get here on the far side.
Great gif. Great
so
gif.
yeah,
I
it saves
love
the day. This is a huge moment. I had no idea that there was a magic carpet ride moment in New Mutants. So yeah, so she goes, they go flying off, and all thanks to Warlock, who again, if you guys aren't familiar with Warlock, he can change and transform into all sorts of things. So really, the sky's the limit for whatever his creativity comes with. So Noah, I'm going to pass it to you first. What were your thoughts here with the rapport of Danny and Rain, that kind of helping break the cycle here a little bit with Karma, and Rain being able to kind of use a bit of her abilities, and then of course we get Warlock coming into play.
Yeah, right. So Danny trying to speak to Rain makes perfect sense, get in her mind, try to get her to break Karma. And then with Karma very easily getting, out of the illusion of that Danny makes, it makes sense because they were teammates, however long ago, so they know each other's abilities. It also shows too that a lot of their abilities, they've been using their powers more, growing, and Karma as well, controlling an entire club of people is insane. When the last time we saw her, she only controlled maybe 2 at most.
Yeah.
So it definitely shows that she too has also become very powerful. Warlock is not a character I was at all familiar with before reading this series. I actually got confused for a second because I was like, wait, is this Adam Warlock? There's no way. I'm like, this isn't him. I'm like, I had to look it up.
Fair. Yeah,
fair. Yeah,
but then I think he is a very cool character. I love the Aladdin gift because that's immediately what I thought of, and that's my favorite Disney movie, so that was awesome. Yeah, no, he's super cool character, and him not being immune to Karma makes sense because he is that techno organic. So I guess it would make sense why she couldn't fully control him. I don't know if she'll maybe become powerful enough to in the future, possibly. And actually kind of backtracking a little bit with Karma's fear being Professor Xavier, I thought that was interesting. I'm kind of speculating that there had to have been that something happened between those two for her to turn bad and for him to be her fear.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, as far as I had recalled, just knowing their, their general, him being the teacher, her being the student, and him being pretty stern, being a big part of that fear. But that's a great point that there very well could be, alluding to something that happened off, obviously that we don't know yet. So, yeah, no, I love that. John, what about you? What were your thoughts here on the magic carpet ride?
I can show you the world. No, I thought it was this sequence I like the most. This bit here at the beginning of the issue when we see the team utilizing their abilities in a way that balances out what Karma is utilizing against them. That works for me. There's times a little later on that I'm like, come on, guys, you're better than this. But this worked really well. I liked the way they called in Warlock at the right time versus last issue where they were like, Warlock's immune to her powers. We better not bring him. Like what happened there? What happened? That was we dropped the ball there. Like bring the guy that's immune to her. Like that's your shield. That's the frontline dude you got to bring. So
yeah, now that you point that out, that didn't make sense at all. I mean, I was like, they're using him as backups. Maybe that makes sense. But yeah, no, they totally should have brought him that first time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So this makes a lot of sense to me. I like the way Danny's using her rapport to free Rain. So there's really good thinking and logic going here, and I like the escape.
Yep, I'm with you guys. JP says, and now they're implying Chuck was inappropriate toward a student. No way. So much Xavier slander in this show. Yeah, I mean, hey, these are just facts that we're trying to highlight here. Thanks for the love with the gifts. Stevie was saying, yeah, now I got to go watch Aladdin for the 10,000th time. Thanks, guys. And Candace appreciates all the Disney love. So there you go. Yeah, Warlock. Let's keep going here. We got this next bit. So yeah, they're flying out. They finally get a little time to separate here. On this far left side here, you have Rain, who's freaking out. Warlock, who I appreciate, he's trying to cheer her up. He's turning into a puppy dog. He's like transforming into this squirrel, like all these different things to kind of take her mind off things. And I do appreciate that from him as maybe someone, showing a little bit of leadership in a way and just caring for somebody and knowing that he's from another another planet, to be able to even have that thought of, hey, this is my friend. I want to be able to comfort her and make sure she's okay. So she's struggling there. The other thing I want to point out with that was, I love the part where he talks about, she's crying and he says leaked moisture from her ocular senses. The self was merely trying to clean it off, and he's very confused about the crying. And then I love so from here I had to throw this other gif in here for all this soap on Rain's
Doubtfire.
face. Yeah, just like perfect. We do get a part here where as she's talking with Aurora and Magic, you have Danny off to the side, kind of eyeing the dress that Rain was at one point wearing, and she very much comes from a different background. She never really had the experiences of dressing in that way, and she feels really bad for it. As you can see in these panels, she's bothered. She walks off. Aurora kind of sees what she's doing and follows her, checks in on her about it, and she's afraid that is that karma that made me like even interested in this stuff, or is that me, or they just kind of have this moment where Storm's like, hey, this is you. This is like part of what you're interested in. You're learning, you're growing, and it's just a new experience. But I could understand how it'd all be very confusing, knowing that you have someone like Karma playing mind tricks with you. And then, of course, the ground breaks through because they're being attacked again. This, issue is stop and go. There's a lot of things that are happening, but trying to pace it out as best as I'm sure they did. So we get the ground falling. But John, I'll pass it back to you first. What were your thoughts on some of these panels?
I mean, I was really excited. I like seeing that our heroes succeeded. They pulled off, they rescued a couple of people. They made it away. No harm, no foul. I was very happy and pleased with this. And then the first of the screw ups happens here. Like, you got time for Rain to like wash her face. Why aren't we calling for backup? We realize right away we can't on our own defeat Karma. And where's Storm? Not like, pick up the phone, call the mansion. Like, you have the Avengers number, like call a number. I know they were all in Secret Wars 2 a little bit ago, dealing with, the Beyonder or Mr. What's his name? Whatever the guy's name was, Mr. Face Magic Man. But like, you need help. You need assistance. Like, don't just hunker down in the safe house to think it through. You got to call for backup, and they don't. And then they get hit by a magma, which they don't tell you that it's magma doing this, but those of us who know her earthquake volcanic abilities know she has set this house crumbling down.
Yeah, big time. No, what about you? What were your thoughts here on some of the back and forth between these characters?
Yeah, great point, bringing in that they definitely could have taken the time to get some extra reinforcements, or the fact that they had time to go and kind of wash up, it definitely, like Justin, you were saying, that kind of stop and go of the issue. I thought it was overall a strong issue, though. Like, it kept me engaged the entire time.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so I thought that was awesome. Yep. Warlock, seeing some, kind of character development here, which I think is really cool. He's definitely shown, throughout the issue, some emotion and, understanding the world around him, and them trying to teach him about their world. So it's a continuous theme, along with Danny and Rain. Actually, I feel like throughout the entire series have also had the continuous theme of like, about being pretty or being good enough, or all of these things, and it continues to go. And I think this is just our moment to get Danny again. But again, with the whole, like you're saying, with the mind tricks, it definitely makes sense of why she's kind of being flustered over that fact of, oh, is this still me worrying about this, or am I being influenced right now?
Yep, big time. Yeah, that would freak me out. Just in general, I would start to question everything.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
What's real? do I really like comic books, or is someone making me? Let's see. He says, I believe that
Molecule Man. Yes,
Man.
Mr. Face Magic Man. That guy.
Yes. Is that a man bear pig? No, it's a pig bear man. So all right, so let's keep going here. So the cave in kind of happens from the building. Warlock is able to kind of save Rain. I like how he kind of turns into this metal protection piece for her, as the rest of them are kind of gathering themselves. And of course, Cannonball comes flying in, trying to take out Magic. Doesn't look good there at the moment. Warlock witnesses it. He's very confused, and we learn more about this. And Noah, you touched on this. Warlock is very much still new to the world. He's trying to understand human beings and how we think, how we act, our emotions, all these things. And he's very confused. He calls him Want's friend. Want's friend Cannonball's velocity will result in friend Ileana termination if she impacts, a solid surface. And he's wondering why, she's even attacking to begin with. He ends up jumping in, kind of making this bubble, looks like a bubble of some sort, to bounce Cannonball flying off and catches her before Magic, smashes into the wall or anything. So that's all good and dandy. But at the same time, Rain is like, hey, Warlock, you can't kill him like that. Like, you got to go save him. She's pointing up at the sky like, hey, just because he's struggling, he's bad. We can't kill him. And that's what Storm is, coming in and stepping in to say, this is how this works. Cannonball can't help what he's doing right now because he's being taken over. We can't just go kill him, even though he's fighting us. So I could totally understand where a robot, or alien in this case, is very confused. And he very much is, because he says Self thinks this is a mistake, but then Self is very young and knows very little. Self trusts Self friend, Self will obey. So he goes off trying to save.
I need Justin to read Warlock every time.
It is definitely jumping through hoops. Even reading in my own mind as I read it, I'm like, self what? Self. I even tried to replace the word self with I or me, and that helps a little bit. But that's basically what he's saying when he says self. So then the girls are being attacked by Bobby. He comes flying through. They kind of trip him, knock him over, and work together. So Danny and you get a little Danny and Magic team up there. And then as Magma comes in with her abilities, they run off to Limbo, as that's really the move. And we saw a lot of that last week, last week's issue. But here she very much, controlled it in a pretty decent way. The only thing that was confusing is when they run off, the two of them, Ileana drops her off back at Pharaoh's, the nightclub, with the enemy, with Karma. And she says, like, what are you doing? Don't leave me. And the minute she does, Karma's, like, oh, what a lovely surprise. And she takes over her mind, and, Magic goes back to Limbo. So very confused. And I know there's a lot going on here and mind games and everything else, but I kind of feel as confused as Warlock at the moment. Noah, what were your thoughts here as you see, again, we pick up more action. It's fun. It's exciting. But of course it's the team against the team, their struggle. You don't want to hurt your friends, but at the same time, you got to stop them. So what were your thoughts here with this?
Yeah, that's definitely a hard conflict to get over, like, trying to stop your friends when they're trying to kill you, which again, it also shows Karma, like, what the heck happened to this girl, like using her old friends to kill more people. Like, it's crazy to think about. But yeah, Warlock being confused is definitely a humor part of this whole fight. He was like, I don't really understand why I have to save this guy that just tried to kill you, but right. I guess I'll go do it. So I thought that was really funny, but again, just him still learning about the world and learning about, everything that happens, like all the different little things to think about in these certain situations. Them tripping up Bobby, I thought was pretty funny. He was like, oh, he's here, and now he's gone. All right. But yeah, and then Magma is definitely very powerful, as we continue to see. And then I personally, at this point, towards the end of this last panel here, I thought, Magic is going to drop Danny off, maybe distract Karma, and then come back and do something. I totally thought that was possibly the plan, but we shall see that that's not what happened.
Yep. No, not at all.
Unfortunately.
I love Bobby's comment here. Self is glad to be here tonight. Love you, Bobby. John, what about you? What are your thoughts with some of the character building with Warlock and his world and what he's learning with our world, and then some of the action scenes here we get with the team fighting the team?
I think these pages are some missed opportunities for me, because I do feel like if the focus was she sends a few of the New Mutants to capture some of the ones that made it away, that's exciting to me. Show me that they outplay Danny and capture her and bring her back. I'm down for that. To make it like Ileana screws up and drops her in the only place we don't want her to be dropped is a little frustrating for me, because either it's a plan that they never really explain well to us, like Noah's saying, or it's just a massive screw up, like just a colossal, like, I'm the only place I don't want to drop you off, and I'm not even going to look when I drop you off is next to the villain who can mind control you. Oops, my bad.
Yep.
And that was just a disappointing plot point that I felt like was unnecessary to make Ileana look so tragically bad at her abilities.
Yeah, I definitely will say I was confused. I was like, why did she do that? And then, like you said, she never even came fully out of the portal to see where she was. So it definitely was like, wait, what happened? Like, it definitely made you think, like, oh, is that purposeful? Or you didn't really know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm with you guys. Like I said, very, very, very much a head scratcher. I missed this before. JP said, John was manipulating you, Justin. You don't actually like comics, so you should send me your giant size X-Men to teach John a lesson. Self will do that, JP. All right, let's keep going here. So yeah, right after these panels, as she takes over Danny's mind, Karma, it just goes right. It goes back to, first you have Warlock, who does happen to save Cannonball. Again, he's still very confused. He drops Cannonball off, but then Rain, who was once good again, as Warlock witnessed, is now bad again, and she attacks him again. And then, sure enough, Cannonball also jumps back into being evil and bursts, flying out again. So he is just all twists and turns, and he gets hurt here. He goes, "That's it. I had enough. I know there's all these mind games, but I can't take it." And he's about to really, beat them all up. And then that's when, at the bottom of this first page, you see Magic and Sim, who, again, all we saw was Sim drop off Danny. And now now she's here on this other side to basically take Warlock. So, again, I kind of questioning, like, was that a distraction? Was that supposed to get Danny or Karma, looking the other way? Did she, she wanted Warlock for a reason. She goes, "Hey, come with me." She takes her back to Limbo. I love how Warlock is, he always says query when he asks a question. Query, location? She's my sorceress domain, Limbo. That's where she takes him. So they go back, and basically Magic says, "I gotta go, but in the meantime, Sim, you babysit and stay out of trouble." And as they do that, Sim just basically goes on to tell his story of what he knows of magic to try to catch Warlock up, except Warlock is completely confused because he doesn't understand that there was another set of X-Men characters, and they show in Limbo all the dead characters, including Colossus, and his body ripped open. And again, we've learned this from the previous, mini series that John, you mentioned early, but so of course this just adds more confusion to Warlock because he is scared, he's devastated, he's sad, he's feeling all these human emotions, and not sure why.
It wasn't that long ago that he was talking to the X-Men Blackbird jet as if it was alive. So,
That's right.
Clearly his learning curve here is massive. So this is throwing him for a loop. Yeah.
Big time. Yeah, that's a good point.
I want to say I did love that scene with him with the Blackbird. I thought it was hilarious.
So good.
Yeah, I kept wondering, like, why are they showing this bird and then a chirping bird, the black, and I'm like, oh, Blackbird. Okay, here we go. And then this last page here is again, Magic running back into Danny now and Rain, except it's really Karma taking over. And Karma basically, while using Danny, basically says, "Hey, thanks for doing me a favor. I know I can't control you. Her abilities stop her from controlling her as well, as we learned that from Professor X. He's not able to control or go into Magic's mind either without really struggling. So she just says, "Hey, I'm glad I didn't have to try to combat you or take you over. And instead, maybe we can work together." So there's this little question here because she walks away. That's it. She just kind of says thanks. Her and Danny and Rain walk away, and Magic here at the end kind of admits, she says, "I don't know if I did the right thing. It kind of felt right to do what I did." She as we were just talking about, confused. She left Danny with Karma. And she's like admitting, because she knows this is hinting towards a dark side. And John, we haven't really gotten, we got glimpses of it here and there, but we really haven't gotten to any, dark side of Magic. And there is this dark side that we're still learning. So these are just little hints that I took it as little seeds of what is potential of what she continues to struggle with, and we're going to see even more of. So a lot happened, in these pages. But John, I'm going to start with you. What were your thoughts there, and her confusion and kind of talking to Danny at the end there?
Yeah, there's a lot to like here, especially that very center panel where it looks like Magic's doing the breaststroke as she zips through timeline.
Yeah.
Like, that was so cool. I love that drawing. The way that that's rendered looks really fantastic.
Yeah.
I also love the wreckage down there by Noah of Cannonball. That looks really great with that brick wall.
Yeah.
So lots to visually very interesting stuff here. Very stunning. I like the way Sim is drawn in these panels as well. I don't know how it's possible that Danny got captured, like got her hair and outfit done, and then found Magic walking the streets on another side of Cairo. Like this, I don't know how much time has passed. It didn't seem like very much time, but Danny really got herself together. So definitely some interesting time travel stuff going on there. I also like that she calls her Dark Child, which is the evil version that potentially Magic could become, right? If she lets the power of limbo and the sort of demonic possession side of her ability take over, she has that as a possible future. And they've hinted that it's inevitable, that she will become this thing. So to have the psychic just speak to her as if it's like already happened, it's a nice twist on like, no, you're just as corruptible and awful as I am. You deserve to partner with me. I like that little moment.
Yep, that's a great part. Great point. Noah, what about you here? I know. I mean, we've been talking about Warlock. His, at this point now, he gets hit. He's done with all the confusion. He's just about to, let it rip, and then kind of gets broken up with Magic here. I know that Magic's still very new to you, but you get a little bit of a lowdown, a little bit of an explanation with Sim here. It kind of explains, a bit of what has gone on in the past. What were your thoughts there? Maybe that threw you off a little with history and stuff like that, but what were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, definitely threw me for a loop. I'm both like Warlock and our lovely GIF over here. Like I was what? I was like, hold on, because that image of Colossus, I will say the panel is awesome. Along with John, what you're saying about this panel right here, I think they both are very visually pleasing. But yeah, no, he was talking about, there was another set of X-Men, and they're all dead and they're all here. I was like, what? I was like, I figured something must have happened, whether it was in Secret Wars or the miniseries you guys were talking about with Magic and Storm, something that I had missed. So it definitely would have helped to have that knowledge. But overall, like the shock here, I was like, wow, like it was like I was Warlock kind of learning about that for the first time. But yeah, and then her showing back up and then meeting with Danny and them talking. I too was like, wait a minute, she got into a dress really quick, and she kind of got that wish that she was talking about earlier in the issue of her being, all dressed up and everything.
That's a great point.
And I definitely think maybe some time could have passed because she does have that time misplacement that she constantly has issues with. But
sure.
Yes. So it could have been, maybe a day or two, maybe has gone by, even a few hours, possibly. But yeah, no, just, and then what you're talking about, the seeds of her dark side, I've noticed from the very beginning has been constantly there. So this, I felt like I was surprised, but also like, well, I mean, I guess this was bound to kind of happen at some point, but yeah, no, just I definitely was not expecting though to her to kind of flip like that at the end of this issue.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely with you guys on a lot of that. I was again still that was me too. I don't get it. I was just like Warlock with a lot of it. Styles, good point here. It says please read the current run of Magic. Yeah, I'm a couple issues in. I've been buying it as it's been coming out, but I'm not caught up yet. But I do have the idea of kind of where that's going. So good call there. Danny doesn't accessorize. Yep.
No, just the outfit and the hair.
Yeah.
I also wanted to mention to your point of not being able to get it in some ways. I do think one of the flaws of the artwork here is it's hard to know when she's in Limbo and when she's in Cairo. And I don't know that they differentiate enough with color work and artwork to really let us see, because on the previous page, it looked like she was still in Limbo, but it was actually the melted whatever magma was doing to their building in Cairo. And so it's hard to see kind of visually where they are at different moments. So that threw me off a couple of times. Just like, wait, are they in Limbo here in this panel? Are they in Cairo?
Yeah, for sure. No,
yeah, and especially with the Limbo having that blue coloring in the background, and then her being back in Kairos, the same color. Yeah, I totally get how you saw that. Yeah.
Yep. There's like no difference there. Yeah. That's a good point. And no, a good call on the Colossus. How wicked that panel is.
It's such a sick panel.
Just re-looking at that, I'm like, man, I gotta take a close up on that one. Yeah, that could have been a splash page right there. maybe missed opportunity. All right, well, let's keep it going here. We're getting towards the end now. We have Storm, who comes running back in, as you know, the team now is, or you know, she's showing back up here at the club. And she basically takes on the entire team. Now, we saw her earlier. We already knew she kind of was able to handle herself. Here, she absolutely handles herself. And she takes on everybody. She knows everybody's weakness. And again, pointing out, she has no powers here. So I just love to see that she even calls out all their weaknesses, why she's able to take Bobby out, where his strength is, but he doesn't have the speed to avoid certain blows. Says that Sam has a hard time if he can't see, and she takes her cloak, throws it over him, and moves out of the way like a bull, like a bull, and has him crashing into this well, which happens to have water in it, which then takes out Magma, as she highlights Magma's weaknesses. It all just like fits so perfectly. And then of course Danny does come in, and the fact that she even overcomes Danny's ability, her power, is what got me. This to me just showed, and I forget, John, who our guest was at the time, but when we had first seen Storm lose her abilities in X-Men, whoever our guest was, and maybe it was you as well, that kind of chimed in, basically said, wait till you see what Storm can do, even without her powers, right?
Sure.
And to me, this was, her mind is so strong to be able to break through her fear. We know that she's had her fear of being claustrophobic and, tight corners and being, crowded areas. For her to overcome that, along with all these other things, obviously she's very experienced, and she's, she's a well-known, she's a pickpocketer. She can do all these other things. So, she's got a lot of skills.
We've seen her have knife skills.
Callisto, she showed her
fighting Callisto. Yeah.
Yeah. So look, we already have so much love for Storm on the show. But this just it just brought the bar up to the next level, because it was just so awesome to see her do this stuff. So, but I want to hear your guys, and of course she does end up kind of trying to run off. Danny says to take her out. She used a stick to escape. What did he say?
JP says Storm without her powers is basically Batman.
Yes. Still beats everyone. All right, with this Storm highlight, John, I'm going to pass it to you first. What were your thoughts here seeing Storm in action?
I loved it, and you know what I'm noticing on this run through is this. I don't think this is the club. I think this is still at the ruin of the house where, I think she's still there fighting Cannonball and Bobby and Magma when, Ileana has run off with people to try to escape with Warlock and whatever.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
Storm is still there brawling these guys. And like to your point. Yeah. She comes off like a boss. She does some great moves here. She knows in all her training room sessions with these guys, she knows their skills. She knows them. She's got a lot more experience. It works for me. I know some people might be like, oh, they're making her OP or whatever. I think it makes sense for her character that she would have this level of success against such young kids who are being manipulated and being controlled, and so are not necessarily giving their best effort, right? So this plays into her skill set in a nice way.
Well said. And Noah, what about you? What were your thoughts here on, I know we talked already, she doesn't have her powers, but yeah, just witnessing her quick skills and abilities and be able to still just take people out very much like Batman, as JP pointed out. What were your thoughts here?
Yeah, no, I mean, I know you guys have a great love of Storm, like you said on this show, and this definitely brought my love out for Storm a little bit more. Just this whole scene, of her taking them all out, using their weaknesses against them, just showing again how skilled of a person she is, even without her powers. So I thought that was absolutely awesome. I will say I might have to contradict my saying before with that whole time passage with Magic and Danny, because Danny's wearing the same dress, and when she's fighting Aurora, I just caught that. So
oh yeah,
how did she change that fast? We will never know, I guess. But yeah, no, this is just an awesome scene. Again, like you were saying, her fear overcoming of Danny's powers, I thought was really cool. And even her getting away from Wolfsbane, just using her staff to leap away, like higher than a wolf, I think she said. So
yes,
yeah, again, my love for Storm definitely grew a little bit with this these few panels.
awesome. Love to hear it. Derek said Storm always comes off like a boss. Absolutely, we agree for sure. Wait, there's a wardrobe question on these panels of New Mutants. Yeah, that's new. That's different, Matt. You're right. The other thing too here, as I threw in the corner, didn't really highlight, but yeah, she does run into Rain here at the end, and Storm is quote unquote saved by Magic here at the very end, and again, very tiny that I put in this corner. But let's get into this next bit, because it then says later in the time flashes, and we're back at the Pharaoh, which is the nightclub, and we have this ending, these 2 pages here. We have Storm walking in to the nightclub with no like protection, or she's like zombified, and Karma says, "My collection is very nearly complete. Truly, my dear, you are the creme de la creme." I'm not going to even try the rest of what
The
she says.
pièce de la résistance.
Thank you, John. And she takes over Storm. The last we saw was Magic saving her, and she takes her to what looked like limbo, but it looks like she did what she did to Danny, and she just dropped her at the club, and she's nowhere to be found in this particular little set of panels. And yeah, Karma's just left there tee-hee-heeing, giggling away, as she now has Storm under her, taking over Storm as well. And then on this very last page, we get a flashback to Magic, who is, again, she's watching everything from her, I forget what they called it, basically this fountain that she can kind of see what's happening from limbo. She says she's sorry, you trusted me and I betrayed you. And just kind of has this flashback of what had happened. She's worried, concerned that if she fails with whatever her plan is, that she might have to kill some of them, including Storm, and she's hoping that isn't a thing. But before her thoughts could go any further, you get the word traitor in big letters there. I love that. It's almost like that is a Warlock, like he turned into the word traitor almost with his eyes and everything else. And he's just yelling at her. He's got guns a-blazing. He's ready to fight. And Magic's like, please let me explain. That's the last word she gets in before he says, no, this is you're a once friend. You screwed everything up. You're traitor to everybody. You just helped Karma, who's evil. And now I'm here to stop you. You're going to share her fate. And you can see Sim knocked out there on the floor there. But this is essentially how this is closing out here. So, I'm going to start with you, John. What were your thoughts going into these last few pages of the shock, or is it shock that Magic drops off Storm?
I mean, I do think it's another missed opportunity, right? If you want to have Storm get captured and fall under the spell of Karma, then, write me that good story, write me that good plot. And I think we kind of skipped out on that, and we got cool stuff with Storm. I'm not disappointed by what I got, but if the goal was to lead to this, I don't think we set it up very well. Inversely, I love the way we have Warlock and his misunderstanding leading to potential conflict with Ileana. That is really well set up. It's been set up with the consistency of Warlock and his misunderstandings all along, and Ileana having secrets, right? She's been keeping the truth of Limbo and the Dark Child personality. She's been keeping it a secret from most of the team. So to have Warlock now become aware and then turn on her, that's very interesting to me.
Yeah, no, great point. Everybody commenting on the 3-second wardrobe changes and the 3-panel
I know,
wardrobe
I was
changes.
laughing as you're throwing up comments.
Yeah, there's some great points here and great questions. And John, that's well said. Definitely, something to be said about the way we get to this point. Noah, what are your thoughts here on these final pages? Where you're shocked that Storm ends up, even though she had that epic moment, still arrives underneath the Karma's, mind games and everything else, and Magic clearly still struggling, not sure what is happening, what her plan is, and we don't get it because it gets disrupted by Warlock before we end here.
Right. Yeah. No. So at this point in the story, back when she dropped off Danny, I was still like, well, maybe that was purposeful, possibly. But then as soon as Storm started walking, I was like, oh shoot, like, yeah, she's doing all this on purpose. Storm too, in that panel, I thought she looked almost like not skeletal, but definitely like she has, her cheeks are more in, and she just
almost
doesn't.
sick.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that she doesn't look like she was in the earlier panels.
Yep.
But I thought, John, you bring up that great point of a kind of a missed opportunity. Like as you're talking about it, I do agree. I would have loved to see like Storm actually getting dropped off and getting caught off guard, and then Karma taking over her mind. I think that definitely would have been a cool thing to see. But again, to your point again, I was not disappointed with the cool stuff we got to see with her. And yeah, with Ileana, back in the limbo, talking about, oh, did I make the right choice? It sounds like she has somewhat of a plan. And I think we know that I think she's one of the people that doesn't really get affected by Karma's powers, because she has the strong will. So I think that is somewhat along with her plans. But then Warlock coming in and seeing all of this, obviously, of course, he's only going to see it one way, and he's not going to ask questions. He's going to jump into conclusions, like you're saying, kind of been setting up this whole time. And I will say it is a great cliffhanger for the next issue. It left me wanting to see what happened next.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. I was very much hooked here at the end, regardless of kind of how it closed out. I mean, yeah. Let's actually let's get into the final. So like we've gone through this issue now. We like to do grades here. John, I'm going to pass it to you first. What as a whole, what'd you think of the issue? Any final thoughts, and what would you grade this on a CGC scale?
I mean, I think it's a massive improvement from the end of the Sienkiewicz stuff that we got before this, and the first issue of this story arc that Lealoa did. I think this is a nice step forward. So I was pretty hard on that first issue. I'm tempted to go 9.2 on this. I'm gonna go 9.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go 9.2. It's got Storm, gang. It's got Storm. Let's give it a little bump, a grade bump for having Storm. I guess the flaws I've got here are a couple of the art panels are a little bit weak, a little cartoonish. Don't have the depth that we've been getting from some of the other artists. Obviously Bob McLeod, shout out to the start of the show. I think that there's not as much skill happening necessarily on some of these panels. And then, some missed opportunities story wise. I know that sets up good twists and some other things, so I'm not going to be too harsh on it, but I'll go 9.2.
Love it. That's awesome. Glad to hear you're up in the 9s again. Noah, what about you? What would any final thoughts for you on the entire issue, and how would you grade this on a CGC scale?
Yeah, no. So like I said earlier, I thought this was a really strong issue. I have been enjoying the story arc more than previous ones that we had. Cool seeing Karma back, even though she's really big and evil. But it is cool to see her back, and it gets me interested on actually what happened to her. Great cliffhanger at the end. Although talking with you guys did bring out some points in the issues of like, oh yeah, I didn't catch, that sort of would have been a little bit better. This would have made a little bit more sense, So talking with you guys kind of brought some things to light. Artwork, I had no crazy issues, but again, like talking to you guys, you pointed things out. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't catch that on my first read. So, going through looking at this again, it brought a couple things out. But as far as a CGC grade, I'd have to give it 9.0, I would say. Yeah, I did really enjoy this issue. But yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't put it all the way to the top because, again, talking with you guys, it brought some things to light. So,
Cool.
I had to bring it down a little bit.
I mean, and it's funny because I started, I think, as an 8.5 when I read it on my own. But talking with you guys, there were things like, oh, you know what? Actually, that's a nitpick. Maybe it's not as big it's not a spine. It's not a huge spine tick, is what I guess I'm saying.
I like that. That's good.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I love the grades. I will say, John, didn't think you'd be up in the 9, so I'm very excited for your grade in particular.
I was harsh last week. Yeah.
You were, and you were okay. You gave it like a 7.5. It still was okay. I'm right there with you guys. I'm jumping up a little further because I really this to me, the Storm, the moments of Storm and knowing her change and not having these abilities and me not being able to witness a lot of that yet, what comes next kind of thing with Storm. This is my first time seeing that because I've always wondered, like, how is Storm this quote unquote badass as she loses her powers? And I mean, I get that can be defined in many ways, but like what is going to happen when she has to throw down? And sure enough, like, she schools our own crew, it's very awesome to see. So I thought that was huge. I love the light that was shed on Warlock a bit more as well. I thought that his character was a bit more developed in this issue, and rightfully so, him being that front cover, even though, as you pointed out, Noah, it is a little misleading to a degree. You're right. Because of the way Bobby's talking on the cover and saying, like, what is Warlock?
Yeah,
whatever. Like,
we don't see Warlock like that until the very last panel.
Right.
And I don't think Bobby speaks at all except for saying "Aye" as they go off the balcony.
Yeah. Right. It'd be one thing if like just Warlock was fighting the team, but the fact that Bobby was like shouting, that actually was misleading to me as well. So the artwork, I talked about Steve Leialoha last time. His stuff is very hit or miss for me. I'm familiar with his stuff from Spider-Woman, and even then it was hit or miss. Some of it amazing, some of it not so great. I felt like that here in this one. John, you pointed out a good point with the panel of Sam in the beginning, the head kind of being a bit bigger than the body, and everything, the sizing being a little off in an odd way. But then, you get some beautiful panels, again with the fight scenes and Storm and the creativity with Warlock. So for me, I'm going with Bobby here. I'm going to go with a 9.6 white pages. So I'm right there with you, Bobby. 9.6, baby. So I loved last issue. I love this one, and this very much. I need to jump into this next issue because I am so curious. That was the one thing I was like, what? Like Storm is gonna, what? Like what's happening? Like how? Like what's happening? I don't know. The only thing that stood out to me, and I was going to mention this earlier, and Noah, you pointed this, you kind of hinted towards this a little bit. So you were right. Magic cannot be controlled by these psychics. We learned that with Professor X. He had very much struggled to try to get into her mind the way he can with everybody else without asking and all these things. He has a hard time, and a lot of that has to do with the demonized side of her and what she's gone through, and that stuff you'll learn and read more if you get a chance to read that 4-issue miniseries. But with the world that she's from, so that, in combination with knowing that Warlock also can't be controlled by Karma or psychics, to me, in a way, if you're going to go up against Karma, the ultimate team would be those two together. Now, again, it still you would think would help to have Storm on your side. And why would you turn her in? Why would you just turn Danny in? Like, you still want to just keep them on your side. So that's what I'm confused about. But regardless, it is interesting that these are the two that are left. Who knows, what we don't know Magic's plan yet, but hopefully it has something to do with those two together. So anyways, that wraps it up, gang. So
and I'll say, if you're loving the Storm without her powers, the next couple of seasons of Omni X-Men is going to be right up your alley, buddy.
Sweet. That's awesome. Well, let's get into the numbers here. A couple key elements. First, Magic Carpet Ride for Danny and Rain. So if you guys are into that stuff,
that's actually a key element. That's pretty funny.
That's why
get that 9.8.
You should consider it. That's very cheap. And then the other
thing
says
that on the slab, right? I think
yes. Oh yes. And it also says Storm kicks some new mutant butt without her powers. That's also on the slab. So I just wanted to highlight those key elements. 9.8 goes for fair market value on Go Collect, $55 over the course of a year or so. They're only 35 on the census. Me personally, I don't think I'd be getting this at a 9.8, even though it is that is considered dirt cheap. You're pretty much paying for, the cost of the service. But I probably just want this as a raw book, which I actually do not own at the moment. So I am going to have to hunt this one down as I'm continuing to try to find my newsstand only issues for this series. But any thoughts here, gentlemen, on the money or the key elements or the grades or anything like that?
I mean, it's not a huge significant book, so the prices as far as 9.8 and everything makes sense. Like you were saying, I would not get this one slabbed. But also what you're saying too about hunting New Mutants issues. It's funny because I was in my LCS the other day and I was looking through and I saw New Mutant issues. I was like, hey, I know what that is now. I know what's going on in that issue. I thought that was pretty cool. So
yeah. Love it. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, you're gonna go down that rabbit hole, and I'm glad that we're to blame for that. So that's
I don't know if I'll collect it, but I'm glad I'm reading it.
One day, Noah. Never say never. A quick few other things here. Bobby did say this is first Dark Child. I don't know. I didn't see, but
he's wrong. He's wrong. Bobby, you're wrong. You're wrong. He said it like 2 or 3 times. I think technically, like somebody said in the chat, I think it's either in the miniseries or it's in the Secret Wars 1 or something like that. But yeah, this is the first one of the few times somebody's called her that directly, but I think it's not the first time we've heard that name.
Yeah, she did pop up a few issues ago when it was leading away from, it was a tie-in, I think, with Secret Wars, and the first splash page was her as Dark Child.
Yeah, holding the sword up, and
and she was more demonic outfit and everything. So
yeah,
I again, I had no idea what was going on in Secret Wars, but yeah, that's the first time I saw her in that kind of look. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, not the first.
Roy Kirk says 7-0. He says I'm still not good as issues 1 through 16. That's where he stands with that. That's fair. That's totally
that is fair. Yeah,
absolutely. Love 1 through 16. Big karma. Yeah, I mean that's true. That's true. And Roy Kirk. Oh, go ahead, John.
No, I was good. You can go ahead and finish. I'll get to when we get to Adam at the bottom.
First Dark Child was the Great Secret Wars 2, issue number 1, which was featured the Molecule Mutant. There you go. Wait, there's gonna be more carpet rides for them? Yeah, Matt, come on, man. So this Omni ends with 30. It ends with 34. It's next issue, Adam. So we're gonna be doing New Mutants 34 on John's channel. So be ready for that. And John, go ahead. What were you gonna mention? Or is that what
his other comment says? Because there's a lot that happens between 34 and 35. And yes, in fact, next season, the next omnibus includes New Mutants Special Edition number 1 as part of that, and then it includes X-Men Annual 9, the one you're mentioning here, which goes right before issue 200, the big Trial of Magneto issue of Uncanny. So that is all included in the next season's omnibus. It's an Uncanny omnibus, and it's the prelude, some of the prelude to the Mutant Massacre, but it's almost exclusively issues of Uncanny X-Men. But that New Mutants Special Edition 1 and New Mutants Annual 2 are also included in that omnibus.
Man, I got to get that. Do you have that, John? Do you own? Is that one of the omnis you own?
Yeah, so I'm giving away the omnibus. One of the things I'm giving away on the show in 2 weeks on Justin's channel is the omnibus we'll be reading next season. But because you can also buy it as the prologue to Mutant Massacre, so you can buy it in 2 forms. You can buy, I think it's volume 5 of Chris Claremont, or you can buy the prelude to Mutant Massacre, and they both basically are the same volumes, except there's some X Factor issues included in the prelude volume. So that's why I bought that one, and I'm giving away,
that's right, still
shrink wrapped, the omnibus we'll read next season. So you can win next season's read along and be able to read along the whole thing with us.
Kenneth says, thanks, John. You have my address.
I do indeed. You watch it.
Very cool. All right. Well, let's take this down. So, gang, don't go away. We got questions here before we wrap up the show. Not doing too bad, John. 128.
I'm impressed.
With the Rosko news,
and you've been out, and you've been sick, and you're back in the groove here. You're playing. Man. You're dropping the best gifts and images and your slideshows. I don't know who this guy is.
We got Bob McLeod on the show. Like all this is great. We got Noah on the show. Heck yeah. All right. So for those of you who don't know how this works, we are going to be asking 4 questions tonight. These 4 questions are all based on last issue and last episode. So you had to have watched or read last issue. We are looking for 2 correct answers. So as we ask a question, if you know the correct answer and you see someone else write it anyways in the chat. If you're the top 2 to write it and you're both correct, you will get your name on the board, the prize wheel, for 2 weeks from now, when we're going to be giving away the artwork that we showed off from Rosko, what he did as our featured artist. So you have a chance to win that if you get your name on the board. That's the list there. It's growing. And we have some that have a lot of their name marked down. So the more you have your name in there, the better. We also are looking for 1 incorrect answer. For anybody who maybe didn't get to read or watch last episode, your job is to try to make Noah laugh as hard as possible, or have him choose what he thinks is the best incorrect answer. So we're looking for sarcasm. We're looking for incorrect answers on purpose. So let's get into that. We already got John. Oh, John, you're beating Roy Kirk to the punch here. I don't know. Roy Kirk
got him.
Go ahead, John. You kick it off here.
Yes. So looking for some fun incorrect answers, like Justin said. So my question is, hopefully you watched last week when we were on my channel. We had a very special guest star. Who was the special guest star last week on the show? Bring the comedy, gang. Bring the comedy.
A special guest star. I'm going to highlight some already because Bobby says Magic Carpet Ride. I mean, that could be an answer. Can certainly be an answer. And make Wolverine a sandwich, of course.
I guess I should have been prefacing it with surprise guest star. Not the actual guest we were scheduled to have, which is Candace, who was amazing.
Yeah.
Not the correct answer.
Yeah, Candace was the
special guest.
I saw a lot of Candace.
A lot of Candace.
Candace wrote her full name.
Yeah, she did.
Adams says Purple Girl.
Purple Girl. No,
And
but JP was right. It was himself.
Yes.
It was JP.
JP. And
we
so we got
cameo by JP.
JP and Ryan I have on top as the first 2. Sorry, Matt. Just missed you there.
Just
Conlon has a funny answer, says Dog Girl. Dog Girl. I love his Dog Girl answers. Shouting out Rain there. Let's see. Bobby says the best person in the comic community. With a little trophy. Magic Lasso answers Diana Ross's AI'd as JP. All right. Interesting combo. Vinny, my man Vinny, what's going on, Vinny? He says Storm. Yeah,
that would have been a pretty awesome guess.
Could be.
For sure.
JP, the real co-host of the show. Old Wolf Tony 65 says, not me.
Definitely.
It was not you, Tony.
We learned our lesson.
Then he says JP is cheating. I mean,
here's the fact, Vinny. He wrote Candace's name before he wrote his own. So.
He was struggling with the rest.
I'd agree with you if he had written his name first. Yeah. Even he didn't get it right.
John Cena. Let's see. Scrolling through. Candace says, thank you all for spelling my name correctly, though. That is shout out to spelling for everybody for Candace. Very nice. But Bobby is correct.
I think you meant Bobby, but
Ryan says it was Justin's voice was the special guest here.
We had missed it for a while.
Yeah. Mr. Freeze in JP form. Matt from Impress Comic answers. It was a clone robot that looked like Sleepy Joe, Bobby says. Sleepy Joe or Brother Joe? Sleepy Joe. Tom Cruise. Colin says Tom Cruise. That guy has been everywhere promoting Mission Impossible. That is true. And I did get to see it this weekend. I forgot to post my thoughts, but I'll do that later. Loved it.
And I watched, dang it, this guy's got me watching Maverick in my free time. I don't know what's going on with me.
I mean, that's a great way to spend
Maverick was good.
It was very good. Noah, any of these that you like here as a funny incorrect answer? I'll highlight a couple more, but anything that stood out to you?
So I might have to give it to Impress Comics, Mr. Freeman JP form. That's my favorite Batman villain. So he knew me, so I'll give it to him.
There you go. Hey, you got to play to your judge here. So Matt knew what's up. Matt knew what's up. All right, so Matt is on the board. All right, my first question is not in front of me. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Who did Bobby snap at in anger last issue? Now, John, I had sent you the answer that I'm looking for.
Yes, it's hilarious.
We'll see who gets the closest to that answer. And I'm gonna, so that Noah knows it as well. I'll drop it into.
No, you don't need to worry about it. It's gonna happen.
Okay.
I can tell.
It's
already happened. It's already happened.
It has. Okay. All right. So there's the line. Thank you, Roy Kirk. Who did he snap at? Yeah. So the answer I was looking for was everyone. He did. He snapped at everyone. And the answer I wrote to John was he snapped at everyone. What a jerk. Because he was a jerk.
He was off the
JP
rails.
is correct. And the second one I had here is Tony.
Yep.
Old Wolf 65. All right.
He deserved to be thrown off a building this week.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. I love how casual that was. They're like, oh, there's Bobby. Whoop, there's Bobby.
I know. It's like he was barely in this issue whatsoever.
Yeah. It's like a cartoon. All right. So let's see some funny ones here. We got Vinny saying Storm was the answer. He was a jerk to Storm. Bobby playing the freeze card there. He was a jerk to Mr. Freeze. Seeing if that'll work a second time around.
Maybe.
Colin saying Magic. I know some of you guys are trying to draw actual answers because you're right. He was a jerk to Doug Ryan for sure. Matt, you're right. All the people. Magic Lasso says all the Teen Titan fans. He was a jerk too. He was a jerk to all the Teen Titan fans.
Yeah, he blues.
Not acceptable.
That's right. And Adam says Professor X, Professor Xavier, who was being a jerk. That's a good flip. Yeah, it was
just turnabout. Yeah,
that's right. That's true. Candace. Yeah, Doug did get it the worst. JP says Wolverine's sandwich.
How dare he?
Yeah, I don't. Noah doesn't know some of these inside jokes. I don't know. You might be going over his head with.
Yeah, a little bit.
The short version is that they crashed the Blackbird because Wolverine was busy getting a sandwich and he wasn't buckled up at his seat like you got to be when you're flying.
And so he went flying, and he ran into Storm, and his metal knocked her out, and so the Blackbird crashed. It was all because of Wolverine's sandwich.
Damn sandwich.
That's okay. That's pretty funny.
Roy Kirk saying Rachel Dinners, classic Rachel Dinners. Bobby, he snapped at the guy that took your money at Wendy's. I mean, that's not cool.
Not cool.
He said, JP says, Karma's diet plan. Ryan says, Steve Lealoa for not letting him take his shirt off. Yeah, there was no shirt taken off of Sam this issue. He went at John. It was awkward.
You gotta throw me under the bus.
Noah, any of these here that stand out to you as the wackiest or funniest or most incorrect answer?
The two that stand out to me the most is All the Teen Titans Fans by Magic Lasso, and the second one I'm deciding in between is Karma's Diet Plan.
Nice. Wait, what was the other one?
Karma's Diet Plan.
All right, let's throw them both in there. We'll give 2 out for that one. Those were both really, really good answers.
Yeah, I enjoyed both. I was trying to decide between the two.
Yeah, JP was the one. Who was the other one again?
Lasso.
Magic Lasso. Yeah, was
Lasso,
the one that did the Teen Titans.
Got it.
All right, John. What's your next question?
Yes, sir. So last time the New Mutants were sort of globe-trotting, and they visited a first appearance, a place they had never been in the history of Marvel Comics. So what fantastic locale did the team visit?
Bobby, this answer is.
I mean, that's not, that's sad.
We're on to the next question now, Bobby. But that's yeah.
Why don't you come with me, little girl, on a magic carpet ride?
Oh, look at Impress dropping the line here. Roy Kirk goes ... Oh, well, this is awkward. Sorry, John, can you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah, what new first appearance locale did the team visit in the issue?
That's right.
Globe-trotting New Mutants.
Might get some good funny ones here too. Ryan says the future is where they went. I mean, they kind of did. JP says your mom's house. They went to your mom's house, John. Talking about your mom, John. Bobby says Space Mountain. Love Space Mountain.
That's a great
let's see. The Bat Cave, Ryan says. Yeah, get some DC love in there. Bobby.
Jesus, Bobby.
What,
Go walk on
John-
some grass, buddy. Go walk on some grass.
John is there. I like this one. Candace, Luxor Hotel.
Now
and
you're playing to the wrong
Casino
judge.
in Vegas. Yeah, you are playing the wrong judge. I love that answer though. Go ahead, John. What were you saying?
There were 2 correctly spelled
Who?
answers. So we're gonna scroll back up there. We had
It wasn't this
old-
one.
No, it's not Magipore. Sorry.
Sorry,
It was
Steve.
that one. Yes, correctly spelled by Tony.
Okay,
it actually says
Tony.
poor at the end of the word.
I can't believe
which
Tony
means
got
the
that.
second winner is Adam Makes Stuff Up,
Ooh.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
There we
that's
go.
right.
Congratulations, Adam.
Congrats.
Well done. Let's see a couple other answers. He said took him to Terrificon. I mean, that's a great
Lucky.
answer. Playing
Everyone
to the
should be
judge.
going.
That's right. That's
Everyone
right.
should be.
Everyone should be. John, Matt, everybody else in the chat. One day.
One day.
First appearance of the island from Lost. Steve.
Now you're playing to the different judge. Now you're playing to this judge.
All right, Noah, which one was your favorite here? Anything that stood out to you?
Honestly, the thing that made me laugh the most was it wasn't even related to the question. It was the Jackson worker when he did the da da da.
Hey, all right.
Honestly, that made me laugh the most after.
There you go.
But,
we'll go with
nice.
Rick Kirk. Yeah, that works. All right. We have one last question, and that is, what was the name of Aurora's ancestor that the girls ran into in last
That's a good
issue?
question.
Yeah, what was the name? So I am looking for spelling, correct spelling, but what was the name of Aurora's ancestor? And there you go.
I
Rick
got it
Kirk.
this time.
Yep. All right. Oh, I already see the answer. I have Tony. Ashake.
But was before the start line? Was he? I'm kidding.
Oh yeah, we had.
I'm just kidding. We do not have that rule.
I mean,
just wanted
because
to make
it's Tony, I could agree.
I just wanted to make him sweat a little bit. That's all I wanted.
All right, Tony is on the board, and Matt Impressed Comics is on the board as well. Colin says drizzle.
Sometimes drizzle before storm.
Yeah. Bobby says Diana Ross. Yeah, I mean,
I like Tony goes, bullshit. And then,
yeah.
and then he goes, cool.
Cool. JP says it was Blizzard. Yeah, Blizzard is an ancestor of Storm. I like it. Bobby says Cher. Yep. Love some Cher. We'll give another second here. Bobby says Oprah.
Come on, that's racist, Bobby.
Yeah. Beyonce. Candace says, my girl Beyonce.
That's a great answer.
Yep. And as we're waiting for a few more here, just a reminder, if you guys are not following Noah, make sure you do so. His links are in the description below. And of course, John as well. We're going to be on his channel next week. Noah, anything here as a funny or incorrect funny answer that you want to pick?
I'm gonna give it to Drizzle. I think that was Conlon.
There you go. Yeah. Yep. Stevie. There you go. Nicely done. All right, gang. Well, there you have it. There's the episode. We're hour and 42 is pretty good. It's pretty good. Noah, thank you so much, my man, for joining us, being part of this, for diving through the whole thing. I'm so happy you're caught up. You knew your stuff. It was
Serious
awesome.
dedication.
And I'm glad you're genuinely enjoying it. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
So-
no, absolutely. And again, thank you guys for having me. And I appreciate all the love, shout out you've been giving me throughout the show. So I really appreciate you guys. If there's any viewers out there not subscribed to these guys for whatever reason, you got to do it. You're already on Justin's channel. Just go over to John's and subscribe to him and catch his episode next week. So
There you go.
yeah, no, again,
Love it,
thank
man.
you guys so much for having me.
Absolutely. And do you? I know you have a ton going on. You do stuff on your channel and everything. Is there anything you have coming up you wanted to highlight, or any upcoming events or anything you want to shout out before we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, now that I'm caught up with reading, because I've been cranking that out the last few days and over the weekend, I hopefully will drop a new video by the end of the week. So there should be something come out that it actually will be King Khan. I know it was a while ago, but I'm finally getting the time to get some videos out. So that will be coming out soon. And
Cool.
then I believe I will be on Mike the Beast channel next week. I believe
nice.
we're doing something with Superman.
Cool.
So that's a big topic right now. So we'll see. You guys will have to follow him on Instagram, see what's coming out. Yeah, there you go.
There he is.
Yeah.
Nice. Love Mike.
So yeah, I'll be going live, I think, next week as well. So
Kelly.
yeah, that's
Very
that's
cool.
about all I got.
Awesome, Noah. Awesome. Like I said, the links are in the description. If you are not hanging out and talking to Noah, make sure you do so. Hit him up over on Instagram. Talk some comics with Noah. You've been a ton of fun in this community, Noah. So appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it.
John, anything coming up here for you, my friend, before we wrap up?
I got weekly videos dropping, all the time. So stuff is happening. Videos are dropping. I did a video. I did a video on who is the best male X-Men character, because I'm always telling you the best X-Men characters are women. They're just so phenomenal. But which one did I pick as the best male X-Men character? Cruise by and check it out.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, gang. Well, again, if you guys missed the beginning, our announcement with Rosko here showing off the artwork, go back to the beginning, check it out, take some screenshots, zoom in on that thing. It's up for grabs. Someone's going to win it here in 2 weeks. So be ready. We're going to be on John's channel next week, 9:00 Eastern, for the final breakdown of issue 34, New Mutants 34, and then 2 weeks from now we will be back here to do the finale, the giveaway. That's where we're just going to be giving away a ton of stuff, maybe have a guest or two. We'll talk a bunch of stuff on just where we were with reading everything. We'll recap kind of how we do each and every finale episode, but regardless, we appreciate everybody. Thank you all so much for the support. Shout out to Rosko again. We love you, Rosko, and we'll see you on John's channel next week, and until next time, we will talk to you later. Peace.